Hello everyone and welcome to my video. Okay, so to dive right into this case example, it looks like we have a mother, a father, and two children, a daughter who's 14 who had a recent overdose and a recent hospitalization, and a son who is 17. There are no names to refer to, so I will refer to them as father, son, mother, daughter. And it seems like the daughter was just recently hospitalized and spent 4 days in a facility. And they are counting this as a recent suicide attempt, this overdose. So here's what we have to work with. So initially, joining the family to gain their trust, or for an initial first segment, just sort of allowing the family to come in and asking them why they're there, why do they think they're there, or why do they want to be there, because I want to make sure that I have buy-in from all of the family members, and make sure that I speak to them about this isn't going to work if everyone's not on board, if we don't have the buy-in and the commitment to go through the allotted sessions, or the amount of sessions that we may need, and remain as neutral as possible so that I can gain trust amongst the family and they know and can see that I am not picking sides. And I want to make sure that I am also, empathizing with them and making sure that that's known, and just kind of introducing to them the benefits of family therapy. So I'm assuming that this was sort of written in a safety plan, maybe from the daughter's hospitalization, discharge, and perhaps, the dad and the mom wanted to follow that safety plan. And it seems like the brother's kind of just along for the ride, and he's blaming the sister for putting them through all of this. But just sort of introducing to the family and explaining that family therapy can show them, or can help them see a better understanding of healthy boundaries and family patterns within the family system. So I want to try to allow them to speak their minds initially and get to know them and hear their stories, so that I can kind of get a better understanding of what the family dynamics are. And I also want to explain that our hope is that we're going to have some enhanced or improved communication amongst the family members, that we can help the daughter come up with some healthier problem-solving techniques or coping skills, as opposed to a suicide attempt. And we also want to try to from the therapist or the counselor listening through, showing them that I can be empathetic, or that I empathize with them, also kind of creating that a deeper empathy amongst the family members, because they may not realize at the moment how they're actually hurting one another, or kind of deflecting onto one another. It also seems like there's some extensive mental health history amongst the family, so maybe helping uncover some of that as well. We want to try to work on bringing the family more together and instilling more trust amongst the family members, and kind of help create that supportive environment. So I would start off by just kind of like listening and kind of observing how the family interacts with one another, and listening to their side of the stories to see what their family dynamics are, and who's actually, like the one who kind of holds the family together, who's the glue, who do they kind of take all of their I guess, who do they listen to the most, and who kind of gives out the most tasks, I guess, within the home for them to like kind of follow along with. So I would do that, and that would hopefully be how I would gain some trust amongst the family members. So once I do that, for as the second segment, would continue, Some things I might say to interrupt any bickering or blaming that the parents may start to do with one another could be to remind them that we're all here for one common goal. And those goals would be what we would highlight in sort of the first few sessions. So it's to kind of improve the communication, that we're actually here for the kids, the children, to make sure that we are improving our communication skills amongst the family members, and that the children are still minors, so they still need their parents, and kind of see how we can improve those relationships and communication within the family, reminding the parents of that there's no blame shifting, there's no, deflecting, there's no bickering, because we are all here for one common reason. And we can start by kind of like addressing some of the parents' actions and their emotions related to some of the bickering and their perceptions of the whole situation. So how do they actually kind of relate to that person's dynamic within the family unit? And it looks like there is a bunch of history from what this case plan says about the mother's parents are alive, but her dad had also made a suicide attempt 10 years earlier, having suffered from depression. So that could have been maybe a trigger for mom, and kind of like stopping to address that situation or those triggers as it may come up amongst mom, and that her younger sister was also depressed most of her life. So she may be experiencing some like past traumatic memories or traumatic events that may have occurred in her life, having witnessed her daughter sort of kind of have the same suicide attempt and a drug overdose. And I know that it says that the father's parents are dead, and both of them have dealt with alcoholism, and that, they were sort of abusive towards him. So I'm sure there's some past trauma being brought up there as well. So I would sort of introduce some exercises around the second segment, especially if there was some type of bickering going on, where I can try to engage the family a little bit more. So one exercise I like to use amongst my clients is sort of give out colored candy such as Skittles or M&Ms, and distribute 7 pieces to each family member, and instruct them to sort their candy by color. And not to eat it right away, and then asking each family member to pick a color and share how many they have. So however many candies of this color they have, instruct them to give the same number of responses to the following prompts based by color. So for example, green would be words to describe your family. So if you had 3 green candies, give 3 words to describe your family. Orange could be things you would like to improve amongst your family. So if you had 2 orange candies, it would be name 2 things that you would like to improve about your family, and so on. It's just a quick, easy little icebreaker to kind of bring the family back on task and kind of relate the questions to what they're working on and why they're actually there. And then how I would end the session, including any homework that I might suggest to help them meet their goals that they have set for themselves. I would end the session by giving the family an assignment for the upcoming week to bring back. And I actually think a genogram may be helpful here. Normally I may kind of complete a genogram with an individual client, but it seems like there's a lot of sort of family history here. Mom's parents are alive, but dad's aren't. But are her parents kind of managing their mental health? Are they good supports within the family system? So maybe asking the family to sort of come together to work on that genogram / family tree, and kind of go through the timeline to see, where things are within the family dynamics, and see who can actually be a support and who is not. And in my experience, genograms have been very helpful with actually showing families how many supports they actually have that they don't realize. So it's worth a shot. They could work on it together, and maybe go to the park and bring a sketch pad with you and work on your family tree, or go in the backyard or someplace calm and relaxing where they could work on it together, and then they could bring it to the next session the following week and we could review. So that's my video. Sorry it's a little lengthy. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.